Welcome to Mastering the Math of Business with Lauren Young. Today we're going to be discussing the number one tool used in finance departments across corporate America. This is the tool that if you were to talk to any controller and ask them what are the most important reports you work with, they would tell you it's their variance reports. And variance reports exist to confirm how well a business is doing. In the Business CPR Management System, it's the backbone to confirming the quality of your profits, as is variance reporting. And I'm always amazed at how few small business owners use variance reports as a way to assess their business. They're missing out on a very straightforward way of confirming what's working and what isn't. I'm particularly amazed that they don't use it because the business owners I've worked with and have known over the years, they sacrifice so much for their businesses. They sacrifice time, they sacrifice money, and many sacrifice their own health trying to take good care of their customers, trying to be good employers to their employees. And this sacrifice goes unrecognized and unappreciated. And one of the ways that would help them turn this around is to use variance reports. It is the most effective way to confirm whether or not what you're doing is working. And there's really three primary variance reports, depending on what type of business you're in. In other words, what's your sales cycle like? For me, the most important variance report, and the one that is used predominantly by the C-suite, is the actual to plan variance report. They want to know how well they're doing against plan. They also, for businesses that aren't on what's called the hockey stick curve, where they're really aggressively growing their business, the year-over-year variance report's a good one because it helps you gauge how things are going this year compared to the same time last year. The rolling 13 variance report is a good report for businesses that have a lot of ups and downs. This is particularly good for like construction companies that have really big months followed by some lean months, and so they can look at their business on average against the rolling 13. The point is, variance reports help you know what's happening. And as you can tell, here's the three variance reports available through the Business CPR Management System, all using the exact same numbers. But as you can tell, things are different across these three variance reports because of the variability that is unique to each business. That's why the Business CPR Management System offers the three variance reports. This way you have the flexibility to pick the one that makes most sense to you. The next thing I'd like you to appreciate about variance reports is it is important to select them. In fact, you'll see that this is the first video where there's no math worked into the narrative. The reason why there's no math worked into the narrative is because it would become too convoluted and complicated. The point is, no matter which method you use to gauge your variance, be it to plan, to previous year, or to a rolling 13-month average, the point is it's helping you gauge what's working in your business, where are things not where they should be, so that you can isolate and identify what you need to do differently. So let's look at this business that's represented in that earlier view of the three different variance reports. And again, we're just going to focus on the big four numbers. Variance reporting is better when you're looking through the P&L statement or you're looking through the balance sheet, but to just keep it simple, we'll just focus on the big four. So here you see that there are no additional factors that you need to consider here. There's nothing else you need. You just need to know the results, and then you do a little bit of math. So the first set of math you want to do is you just want to look at the dollar change. It's good to get an order of magnitude. And as you can see, I played around a little bit with the fonts to appreciate a couple of things. One is that these first three numbers, net sales, gross profit, and operating income, are important. But the one that matters at the end of the day is your net income. And it's similar to I love football. It's similar to football. You know, you might outscore, you might have more passing yards, more rushing yards, more first downs than your opponents, does. And all of that's great. But if at the end of the game they score more than you did, it's still a loss. And that's why net income matters. And so as you can tell with this particular client, they actually had a remarkable year. This is just unbelievable what they did. And the reason this happened is because they're a construction company, and they had a huge job accelerate on them, and so they were able to bill and work on it. And the way they were able to do it, you can see that they blew past their plan, and good for them. It's really quite a significant accomplishment. And so with that, let's appreciate some of the math here. These are where the calculations start to get interesting. And what you're looking at is, the first thing you want to look at is the growth. They were planning to grow sales by 5%. They actually grew sales by 55%. So this is a percent change equation. This is actually my second most used formula. And I've been using this formula since graduate school. In fact, I'll tell you a little secret. I have an MBA, and there's a lot of math that you do during an MBA program. But when I came out of graduate school and entered corporate America, this was the formula I used the most, was percent change. And it's really a good formula. So that's how you do it. The second number here is actual net sales divided by planned net sales. In other words, they were 148% of their sales plan. Like I said, remarkable year. Then you come down here, and now you're going to look at gross profit as a percent of sales. So this is what they did last year. This is what they planned to do. And they came up a little short of their plan because there were some inefficiencies introduced through this sales bonanza. But the sales numbers were so big that their actual gross profit dollars were 129% of plan. And so they grew gross profit by 38% over the previous year. They were 77% of the previous year. In their actual, they were planning to be 38% better. But here's the key. They were 129% of plan. You drop down into operating income. They were looking to be quite aggressive in their operating income. And again, some costs crept into the business as their sales blew through the door. And it ended up not being where they planned it to be as a percent of sales, but what it did do is it still beat their plan. They came in at 118% of plan, which is impressive. And then you drop down, and here's where they hit their home run. They were 9% of sales. Their return on sales was 9%. They planned to double it to 18%, but it came in at 22%. And the reason why it came in so high is because of this combination measured against this total sales. High sales growth really is, it's a great place to be, and it's very hard to get to. But here's what's significant. They grew their net income by 285% over the previous year, and they came in at 185% of plan. What a windfall. What a remarkable year. And hats off to this management team and its ownership group for having such a remarkable year. This is the power of variance reports. It gives you an ability to see a business and to be able to appreciate what's happening. As I said at the beginning, variance reports are the finance department's favorite report. And it's really quite remarkable how much variance reports are used. And it's even more remarkable when you step back and you think about all the small business owners that don't use the variance reports. It is the #1 tool in business, and it's really quite easy to implement. So if you'd like to implement a variance reporting process in your business, go to business-cpr.com/scheduler. That's our site URL /scheduler to talk with a variance reporting expert. They'll help you think through which is the best variance report for you and help you set one up. And they'll do this because it is the #1 business assessment tool, period. Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of Mastering the Math of Business with Lauren Young. I do encourage comments, questions, suggestions. I welcome with open arms, likes, and I even welcome more subscribers. So thanks again for tuning in. Look forward to joining you again soon.